Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. And now, celebrating 15 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you to our program. Also, those joining us through our online affiliates around the world, including our radio family. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. Well, I am out on the road, as you all know, this week. We're going to be covering the Scandal series finale here in Los Angeles, and I'm really excited that the very first interview that I'm doing here in Los Angeles is with best-selling author Eric Jerome Dickey. He has a brand new book that's out now called Bad Men and Wicked Women. We're going to talk to Eric not only about the new book, but also what it's been like for him to craft these characters, to be able to bring the character Ken Swift to life, and to give him so many layers that I think all of us. Eric, hello to you, and welcome back to the program.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Hey, doing really good, Eric. As I said, congratulations to you on the brand new book. I mean, it's part of the fun for you, Eric, when you're crafting these stories, being able to see where you can take your characters next.
You know, it is. It's like creating Ken Swift and actually using. I live in View Park, which is right next to Leimert Park, which is right around the corner from Culver City, which is a few minutes from Pasadena. You know, and using a lot of issues and things and places just in my area, and and taking a character like Ken Swift, who's an enforcer who works for a mysterious person out in San Bernardino, and just kind of like dropping him into our real world. You know, he's this guy who lives next door to us. We have no idea what he does. He dresses nice. He has a nice car. You know, he seems like the type of guy you want in your community, but you don't know that, he's out doing jobs for some pretty bad people, collecting money in at times in a very violent way. And then creating this character and just using the times and most of my novels are contemporary anyway, but just using it to the fullest. Everything that's it's part of his world. Everything that's going on, man. I mean, we're in this area here. If you park your car, someone's talking about gentrification. Someone's talking about Starbucks and While Black. You know what I mean? So all of this stuff is part of his makeup, And as I'm writing this character, you say the levels, and just the impact it has on him, because I think a big part of his conversation in this novel and in another one is, he's been trying to quit America and get to Africa for the last 20 years. He just wants to get away from, he wants to go to a place that even if there's crime, it's black crime. Whoever runs the country is black. Whoever is homeless is black. He wants to get away from the American influence. He wants to. He wants to trace his life back to the motherland and see if he goes back there, who he is, who he can be, and possibly who he was supposed to be.
Amazing. And I think I'm so glad you said that, Eric, because one of the things that I thought was so timely about this book was the conversation that Ken is able to have about race, about America. And there were two lines that really struck me in the book. One of them said that good Christians stole Africans and made America great. Of course, we know that's a moniker today. And then the whole thought about the other line was, just like Nigeria, America needs purging. And the purging has to start with the educational system and the religious establishment. Is that kind of part of what you hope you're able to do with your work, to not only entertain, but also to get people to thinking about conversations that they may have heard about, but never really thought about how it affected them?
All of these are real conversations. I mean, it would be nice if, great if the readers who, you're sitting back and you're in Ken Swift and Jake Ellis's and even Mr. Garrett's and Ken's girlfriend Rachel Redmond, when you're in their conversations and they're talking about stuff that impacts them the way they see themselves. Ken's daughter bleaches her skin. I mean, you know, and it was, you know, I mean, these are real things. I mean, you know, we may see bits and pieces here and there, but these are all of these are the total sum of things that show, demonstrate, or have an impact on the self-esteem of African Americans, in my opinion. Yeah. You know, I mean, because there's no, it wasn't that, you know, and at the same time, there's a story here. You know, Ken goes to do a job, he goes south, his daughter's blackmailing him, she wants $50,000, but all this other stuff is part of everybody's world. And hopefully, as you're on this adventure, you know, maybe you think about some other stuff too. You know, more than just, you know what I mean? And I think that's what, as a writer, you know, that's what you want. I mean, you want. Some people don't want death at all. I mean, it's fine. You know, they just want straight escapism, and I am too. I do too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I watch that's just fluff. I mean, it's my guilty pleasure TV show, and it's stupid. And then there's other stuff I watch that is just intense, and I love it because it makes me pause, it makes me think, it makes me want to view it 2, 3, 4 times, you know. And hopefully, you know, when we craft a novel, we really want the latter. We love it when someone finds a passage, and we never know what it's going to be. A passage that you want to dog-ear this page, you want to highlight this passage, you want to post this on Twitter, Facebook, or, you know, Instagram, because somehow we, sitting in whatever room we're in working, we've managed to reach out and touch someone and generally in a positive way. You know, just like, what, you know, you make you go like, wow, you know, I hadn't thought about that. You know, and the last statement you said. Now, if you look at, you know, religion, education, it needs to be overhauled. I mean, it works for some, but it doesn't work for all. You know, so.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just. I mean, these characters really get into some. I guess political. Well, it's just the world that we live in now. So, you know, what do you think?
And no, And that also, Eric, is something that you've kind of become known for, addressing issues that are not always easy to talk about, but using fiction to do it. I do want to ask you this question. I didn't ask you this the last time that you were on the show, but I think anyone who's read any of your books knows that you love first person. You love to be able to put the reader in the skin of the character. How scary is that for you, though, sometimes when it comes to some of these characters that you create and the situations they find themselves in?
You know, it really, you know, because some days I'm sitting at the desk and I'm sitting here just like, okay, what is this person's? How does this character think? You know, and they can be thinking about stuff that, see, like even in writing this book, it caused me to pause and actually think about some stuff that I probably would have just seen and just kept going, you know. But actually to get in it and to allow the characters from their perspective, that meaning that how they grew up, how they see the world, every African American in this book doesn't have the same point of view. And for me to, you know, just be able to sit and communicate it effectively and examine it and at times even the characters who have the clearest ideas and the clearest thoughts, you know, they will have to admit, I'm a hypocrite too, just like everybody else, you know, because just like anyone else, I want stuff in my favor. I mean, just imagine you have a character who says this. It's like, okay, living in America, I have to spend all my life fighting for racial justice. I never get to relax. All my life, I have to be aware of the injustice, of the possibility. And black men talk about this when black men talk about stuff like simple stuff like I've never been arrested, I've never been to jail, that has nothing to do with crime. That has to do with no cop rolls up on you and charge you for nothing, because that happens over and over again. I was talking to a buddy 2 days ago. He's worked at this grocery store for 40 years. He's in upper management. He had to go into work super early. So 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning is his lunchtime. He's sitting out in the parking lot of the place where he works, wearing the attire, the uniform that the people work on the inside, and the police come to his car, and they want to see his ID. He's sitting outside of his job, and you got to go through this you know what I mean? It's like, if I'm sitting outside of my job, I've got a uniform that says this building right here, and you want to see my ID. I'm sitting in the car sleeping in the parking lot at my job. And then the cop told him that the reason he came is because somebody called about somebody sleeping in the car in the parking lot. And halfway through the conversation, the cop admitted, well, nobody called. I just saw you over here, and I came over. See, a lot of times, man, I mean, just off of that, it's like he shows up looking for somebody to take to jail, somebody to give a ticket. And you just sitting there minding your own business, man. I mean, just think of the number of times black men or black children have been told you can't play out in front of your own yard because the cops might come and pick you up. I mean, that was us growing up. I mean, why are you, cops roll by, why are you outside in your own neighborhood? And you ride through white neighborhoods, and white kids is all up and down the street, man. I'm just saying, it's just that you take all of that. That's the reality of the background, because the character in the book, Ken Swift, grew up in Mississippi. So he's had a taste of the way it is down south. He's been out here since before most of his life. He's been through Latasha Harlins, Rodney King. Because a lot of people don't realize that before the L.A. riots, they think that the L.A. riots started with Rodney King, but before Rodney King, that was Latasha Harlins, who was killed by a Korean shop owner, shot in the back of the head. And the white judge decided that the Korean shop owner who shot the black girl in the back of the head didn't need to go to jail. So all of that created a powder keg. So you're having people who walk around. This is their history out here. This is their history. This is what you grow up with. I mean, these are the fears that you have. That when someone gets mad and they yelling back at the cops. All this is in the memory bank, man. Just imagine if you grew up in a place where all of this was stuff that happened to people far away, and it's just where you are. It could be a struggle, but more or less it's peaceful. That's why I liked. I've written a couple of books that took place in the islands, Barbados, Antigua, and even the Bahamas.
Right.
And and for me, just during those periods, I mean, I would, I'm living in places where you don't exist under the rule of a white thumb, and it was really different. I mean, there's no Walmart. But there's on this other side, it's like, I see cops. It was a whole different relationship, It was totally different.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, so
and as you, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
No, go ahead. I mean, and I think part of that is that one character in the book is from Ghana. He comes here to work with Ken Swift and does stuff. And then he takes his money back to Ghana. He's built a house. He's got a nice life in Ghana, but he comes here to make that American money. And Ken Swift is, and he kind of, he hasn't been to Africa, but he's sort of, that's his fantasy. He's just leaving here, going there, and adjusting, adapting, being around people who look like him. From top to bottom. Even with the corruption. We always point out corruption in other places, and we're living under an umbrella of corruption. They just do it so much better here. It's oh God! Because I was thinking this morning, I wonder if there's any way to figure out how much money the government has just misappropriation of funds. how much money just goes missing. And when the money goes missing, they raise out taxes. You know, nobody goes to jail at the top for major crimes, but
right.
$2 can't sit in Starbucks. You know, so that's where, you know what I mean? So you kind of, you know, I just want, you know, you just want that, you want to find your place in the sun at some point, man.
Right.
I mean, if you think of, you know, in his short life, from you know, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., man, this is what you spend your whole life doing. This is what you spent your whole life doing. You're always on the road. You don't get to be home with your wife and kids that much because it never ends. It always escalates. It evolves into the next, and
right.
People know the difference between right and wrong, and they still choose to do wrong. I mean, the history of black people in America is no secret. It's not, you know, there's no reason for white people to go like, oh my God, I had no idea. It's no secret. You just, if you choose to make us invisible, and if you choose to not listen, well, that was your choice. But you know, we haven't. No one has ever been silent about it. I can go to YouTube and pull up the evidence, but you know, it just. Anyway, I know I'm going on and on, but yeah, but this is, you know, and this is the umbrella that the characters acknowledge exists in the middle of dealing with family, friendship, the job with San Bernardino, and it mostly takes place in the span of 2 days. So basically, for Ken Swift, it's just sort of like, you know what, you know, like in life, you'll have like a week, and nothing happens for that week. And then Saturday, all of a sudden, everybody needs to do something Saturday. Everything happens on Saturday. Every event was on Saturday. So this is like Ken's Saturday, where all of a sudden everything happens. The daughter shows up on a bad day. He's got to do a job. The girlfriend shows up. He's dealing with the daughter. There's backlash from the job, and he's trying to deal with the ex-wife, and all in the span of a few hours. You know, it's serious, and at the same time, I have to say, I was right. It was really hilarious to me. I mean, it was. I mean, it was that, can anything go right for this guy? You know, so for me, it was just really hilarious. And even when they're having I imagined the Ghanaian who, when he's espousing about racism and stuff, serious, but I imagined it being funny at the same time. You know, I mean, we got a guy from Ghana here talking about racism in America. Ken's adversary, Mr. Garrett, who's graduate of Princeton, a former gangster out of Boston, who's living large up in Pasadena in his big house that has all this stolen African art on the wall. He's as crude of a character as I've ever created. But at the same time, I just thought he was hilarious. I just thought he was hilarious, you know. And because he's just blunt, ugly, and it's like, I've heard this several times already, like being in a Tarantino movie, where it's like, you know, am I supposed to take this serious? Well, it's serious, but it's funny all at once, because when they really get into this fight, being racist toward each other, it's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous, and racism really looks ridiculous when you. I guess if you were a creature who'd never been to the planet Earth and you're looking down on us, this has to look so stupid. We have to look so immature in the universe. I mean, we have to look like an emotionally immature planet. You know. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, there's so many layers to this book, Eric, that I know our audience will definitely be able to find something. I think the family element would definitely resonate with many. I mean, it's another great look at how one person's life can be so complicated and layered, and also so relatable. And again, as I said, the way you were able to bring in the different topics, I mean, that again gives people something to talk about. So it's entertaining, but also I think informative in that way as well. Again, everyone, best-selling author Eric Jerome Dickey has been our guest once again. We've been talking about his brand new book, Bad Men and Wicked Women. It's out now, so make sure you all get it for yourself, either through our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite bookstore. And you can always stay connected with Eric. He loves hearing from his readers. You can find him on his website at ericjeromedickey.com. Again, it's ericjeromedickey.com, and he's all over social media, so make sure you all are following him so you can see what city he's going to be in next. And, Eric, glad you could kick off our Conversations LA this week, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Same here, and welcome to LA. So you're here for the finale, huh?
Right, yeah, I'm going to be attending the table reading with the Scandal cast on Thursday night, and they're going to be doing a Q&A that I'll be a part of before it airs here on the West Coast. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The proceeds of the event, it benefits the Actors Fund here in Los Angeles. But, yeah, so I'll be a part of that Thursday night.
Amazing, man! Congrats to you for that in advance. I mean, Scandal has made broken a lot of records. It's been amazing. Shonda Rhimes' stuff is just totally amazing. I mean, it's just, and that cast, that crew. Oh gosh, they have to feel like a family that's coming to the end of a run. And so I know there's going to be a lot of hugs and tears on set.
Oh yeah. Well, without a doubt. Well, Eric, thank you so much. Looking forward to meeting you in person soon, and continued success to you.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Eric Jerome Dickey, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media site. So head over to facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. You can click on the link there, listen to the show completely for free, and share with your friends from there too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.